So we're going to go on and get started with part 2, the for loop. We're still in activity 1.1.7, traversing hurdles. So once you have a list, it's common that a program needs to repeat a task for each item in the list. And you can do this by constructing a for loop. So the for loop is similar to a while loop. It iterates, meaning that it repeats itself in sequences. However, the for loop is different, and it tells the program to run through a list of each item in the list to complete the given task. So the for loop retrieves each element from the list and assigns it to the loop variable. Using the loop variable, you can have the program execute the same set of statements for each element. So figure 1, this is figure 1, is showing you the for loop syntax for the body of the loop. So the words for and in variables, for variable in list, body of the for loop. For variable in list, the body of for loop. Pointing to variable. A list with one or more elements. So that's called a list. So the for variable in list, body of the loop, ends with a colon, for variable in the list, body of the loop. And note the white space, the for variable in the list, body of the loop. Okay, so we're going to examine the code below. We're going to determine what it will do. Also, keep in mind that any code that's indented after the for loop is what it's going to print. So it's going to print animal. Okay, so also notice how the for loop is written. It says for space animal in new list. So let's run it. It always asks you, what do you think the loop will do? So it looks like it's gonna, because you know what looping means, it's gonna reiterate through the list. Let's just run it and see. So it did dog, it printed dog, cat, mouse, bird, monkey. This time it printed it as a list, so it printed the animals as a list. And the difference between this list here and the list that we printed above when we did the when we printed a list, we appended the list, and we popped the list. Above, the dog, cat, mouse, bird, and monkey were on the same line. So in the row. This time it's actually generated in a list. So what the code did, what this means for animal in new list, the code ended up printing each animal as its own variable. So it printed it on each line. Okay. And that's the difference. So the for animal in new list, that's saying for each animal printed as a new list. So let's challenge ourselves. Let's put some more animals in the list. Let's go giraffe. Remember to do the double quotes. Then after that, you have to put a comma. Let's say lion. Let's say tiger. Let's run it. Okay, so it did it. So the for, again, the the for animal. The new list is dog, cat, but it has giraffe, lion, and tiger at the end. And your last element that you type does not need to have, do not type the comma at the end of it. Let's see what happens if we type the comma at the end. Well, actually nothing. So I would not type the comma at the end for the sake that there's no other elements after. However, the for animal in new list, print animal, this is saying print each animal in a new list. So that's called iteration, repeating, and it's like the while loop also iterates. How many times does this for loop iterate? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's say 7 times. Let's see. Correction, it actually did iterate 5 times because initially it had dog, cat, mouse, bird, monkey. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if we were to answer for what I added, then it would be a total of 8. It iterated. It does the for loop iteration 8 times. And keep in mind that the loop variable is animal. The loop variable is animal. The for loop is going to assign each element in the list to the loop variable. Okay, so now it wants us to add this line of code, print next animal, indent the line below the for loop statement and above the print animal statement. So we're going to go print. Okay, so it's below. So they want us to go like this. They want us to say print. I'm going to try to remember the code. Animal list. Now let me go down there and make sure I type this right. Print next animal colon. So this should be print next space animal and then a colon. And again, just go down and double check it. I wouldn't say print next. So we got next, and then animal colon, the end, and let's see what happens. So it wants us to print the next animal. Okay, so let's try it. It should print this cat. Next animal, print next animal. Next animal is dog. Next animal is cat. Next, but it seems like to me it should not have printed this. So let's see what is going on. It says add the following indented line of code below the for statement and above the print animal statement, which we did. And it's print next animal code. Okay. And then it says run your code. You should see 10 lines of output, 2 for each iteration of the loop. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's check that. Okay, so you should see 10 lines of code. And because it said print next animal is dog. The next animal is cat. The next animal is mouse, and so on. So that is correct because you should see 10 lines of code. So now let's add 2 more print statements. Let's say print next animal just to see what it's going to do. And so now we have 10. Presently, we have 10 lines of output. Let's see what happens. Oh, so it printed next animal, next animal, next animal. So now we got a lot more. But what if we did this? Let's go print animal. I want to just play with the code and let's see what it does. Oh, so this time it printed it 3 times. It printed the next animal 3 times. There it is, dog, 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 and cat, 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 and so on. If I was to put down print animal, it should do it 4 times, and it did. Now I'm going to test something. What if I deleted these 2 lines? Let's see what happens. Will it still print the animal 4 times? Let's test our code. And it did. It just printed the animal 4 times. So it printed the next animal 4 times. Okay, I'm going to take it a step further. What if I just took this away and ran it. So it would print the next animal. It would, for animal in a new list, it would print it consecutively after each other. Let's put this back. Let's put that back like that. And then there you go. Okay, so we're going to reset this. So we're gonna stay in this visual code editor, even though it says go to another one. We're gonna stay in this one, or if you want, you can go into your trinket.io. So the file name is main.py. Here's the activity. We're going to be import turtle as turtle, TRTL. So number 5, line 5, when you're working with Python and code, always refer to the line as well. So line 5, it creates an empty list of turtles because there's nothing here. There's no code within here. So if I say my turtles, say if I put something in here and I will say my turtles are Drifty, and then Sam. We're just giving them this name. Let's see what it does. It didn't put anything in there. So if I ran it again, it didn't put anything in there, but it spit out an error. Let's see. So we're gonna like I said, we're testing it, so we're gonna leave this as so, okay? And always run your program when you're playing with it first, just to see what it does. Okay. So now it says line number 8, use interesting shapes and colors, and it did. So the turtle shapes, the first one is an arrow, as you can see here. The second one is a turtle. The next one is a circle. The next one is a square. And I can't see what the other one is. There's something after that. And then it says the turtle colors are red, blue, green, orange, purple, and so on. So here it says For S in turtle shapes, so S means the shape of a turtle. Okay. And then T equals turtle, dot turtle, which is the shape equals S. So the variable is T equals turtle dot turtle. And then my turtles dot append T. So let's practice writing a statement here so that we can understand what it does. Like up here it says use interesting shapes and colors. Here we're going to say start at 0 on x-axis and 0 at y-axis. Okay? So that you can understand what the code is doing. Okay? So start at 0 on the x-axis, start x-axis, and start y-axis. Let's see if we can tell what this code is going to do. It says for T in my turtles, T dot go to start X, start Y, then turn right, then go forward. So this, what's going to happen here is, you're going to go to start X and start Y, then turn right, and then move forward 40, 50 pixels. Okay? That's what's going to happen there. And then on this one it says start X equals start X plus 50. Start Y equals start Y plus 50. So you're going to be starting start at start X plus 50 and start Y plus 50. Good to get in the habit of writing out what you think the code is going to do. And to write it out, you have to start it off with the hashtag and then space it over, and then type out what you think it's going to do. Your WinTurtle.screen and your win.main loop means that you're at the end of the programming that is to result out on the terminal on the right side. So let's run it again just to see what it's going to do. It printed the shape, the arrow, the turtle, the circle, the square. Now it did not print the colors, okay? And it started the shape at X on the X and Y. It started the shapes at 0 on both the X and Y axis, which is here. And then as it began to move, it moved to the right 45, and then it moved forward 50, and then to the right, so it moved forward. Let's run it again. One more time. Okay. And it looks like the triangle was the last one that was printed. It went so fast. I'm sure you can change the speed on this. Okay, so now we're going to write code ourselves, modify the code, and we're going to be adding color to the turtles. We're going to delete some colors. We're going to add more turtles, and we're going to change the parameters as we to see the result. Okay, so we're going to do the It's Your Turn looping with list of turtles. List and for loops. Working with list and for loops. So as you can see, this is the code here. We are going to be adding color to the code because initially the color didn't print out. So if I just run it, it runs it, but the color doesn't print out. And then it wants you to, we're going to modify how it's running, like change the shape and what have you. So I've actually played with this, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add some code to this one. So starting at line 19. So I've already actually, we're going to add some code here. We're going to start at X on the 0 axis, and we're going to start at Y on the 0 axis. We're going to go in the direction, 90 degrees pixel direction, and then we're going to pick up the pen. We're going to go to the right 45 degrees and then forward. We're going to add some color. What I do is, as I add code, I actually run it just to see what it's going to do. It prints out an error, and it printed out an error because we're not done with the coding. We're not done with adding code in here to change the direction of how the turtle is going. The turtles are going to be drawn, and to change the colors. So we still need to add more code. And even though I've added this, we need to put code in for new color equals turtle colors.pop, and we're going to be appending some color. Again, you can run the program. If it spits out an error, don't panic. We're just building it. Okay. So your program should look like this. Now, I wrote the code because, and you can challenge yourself. Like here it says, at line 6, there is nothing between the brackets. This means that my turtle list has nothing in it. So, and it doesn't. It does not have anything in it. So, we've done that part, but now we're on It's Your Turn. So here it says, make your first modification. Set the pen up when you create the turtle object, and set the pen down after you move it to its starting position. So 12 is saying set the pen up and then set it down after you move it to the starting position. And here it does. You picked up the pen here at line 19 after it drew the colors, and then you put it down here after set heading, after it went to start X and start underscore Y at the 0 points. It also, we told it to fill the color, the new colors. And the colors are red, blue, green, orange, and so on. So we asked it to fill in the colors. We gave it the shapes. We want the shapes to still be arrow, turtle, circle, square, triangle. That's how you can see, and circle. And then we have the colors red, blue, green, orange, purple. So you can expand this just by getting your arrow here and moving it left or to the right, like that, like so. So here it says a new color equals turtle equals color. So earlier we did not have this color in here, okay, telling it to print the colors, to pop the color, the last color, which was gold. And then here it says fill the new color. That means we're going to fill the turtles, populate the turtles with color. And then after we do that, we're going to pick up the pen, and then we're going to go to start X at 0 again, and then Y at 0. We're going to go in a 90-degree direction, And then we're going to start at X and Y. We're going to put the pen down and turn it right, and so on. So you can play with this code. Most of the time for the students, I let them challenge themselves, because the next thing it asks us to do after 12, it says to build your code incrementally. First, add the code to set the pen up, and then run and test it. Then add the code to set the pen down, and then run and test it. It says make your second modification, change the body of my turtle's loop so that the next turtle object begins drawing where the last turtle left off. You will find the following turtle methods useful. Okay. It says at the end of your loop, change the new start X and start Y for the next turtle to the X and Y position of the current turtle. Start X equals TX dot. So we can copy and put that in there, because they're not going to remember that. Like that. And it's running. Ooh, look at that. So what I did was I put this here in, start X equals T. I put the new one in. If I was to change this, well, let's run it again so you can see what it's doing. What if I change this, put something in here? Just see what it does. It errored out. And it errored out because, let's put another number in here. Let's put 1. Because it may not want numbers in there at all. Okay, so if I don't put a number in there and run it, it's pretty cool. Then if I go down here, it says, next change the color of your turtles. Your color changing code should occur in the loop that creates the turtles. The color names you will use are in your turtle underscore color list. On each iteration as a turtle shapes list pop up, assign the color. So we could change the color to any color that you want. If I go up here and say I want the turtle colors to be let's replace red with pink. Let's replace orange with brown. Let's see what it does. So we're looking for a pink and brown turtle now. And it gave us a pink arrow and a brown. I can see it. It's brown. So you can play with changing the colors. Let's finally change the body of my turtle's loop so that the next turtle begins facing the same direction as the previous turtle. This will require initializing a new variable outside the loop to set and save the direction of the previous turtle. does it say in here? Change the body of the My Turtles loop. So let's go to the My Turtles loop. My Turtles. So here's the loop. This is the for loop right here. My Turtles append. Change the direction. Can we start it at 7? I'm just I'm running. Oh, change the direction. Started at 90. Let's change it to 1. No, let's change it to 40. Let's see what it does. So it printed it lower. It says here, finally change the body of the My Turtles loop so that the next turtle begins facing the same direction as the previous turtle. So, okay, so we did change the direction. Another thing that we probably can do with this code is you can actually, let's say, can we start this again? Like, and again, I'm just guessing, okay? I'm just playing with the code to start something new. And then run it. And so remember, we started it at line 49, the new code, and run it. Let's see what it does. So you see what it's doing? Now we can here, could we do a turtle pin up and a pin down? T dot pin up. So let's go to line 49. T dot pin up. Turtle dot left. I don't know if this is going to generate an error. And then I just want to see this going to do. Always remember where you type your code, your new code. So it did not do any. Oh, there we go. So it did pick the pin up, and it went up there and it drew a line up here. Then it came back and forward. Let's do it again. So as you can see, you can play with this code. It's making, the turtles are making different types of shapes, drawing lines on different coordinates of the x and the y axis, and just play with it and have fun and show me what you got. So as you can see, if I run this code, I've played with it, added some more code to it, and this is the end result in the terminal. So this completes activity 1.1.7, traversing turtles.